Security and Protection of Personality, Society and State International Business Congress, Moscow 2013, the International Exhibition Center, Crocus Expo. Security and Protection of Personality, Society and State International Business Congress has become the focus of the public and world society attention. I think today's forum is a dialogue between society and army. State bodies are fully engaged in the event as well. Exhibitions show that some people can bring into practice what they talk about. Our century is the century of high speeds and state-of-the-art technologies. Hopefully, the Defense Ministry is at the forefront of the trend. The effectiveness of cooperation among authorities and state bodies, business and society to resolve the most urgent security issues is expected to be strengthened. It is the first time that Russia has seen such a significant and large-scale forum on security problems. It has become a potent foundation to establish cooperation among state agencies, public organizations and business to provide Russia's security in every field of activities. Among the organizers of the event were the Public Chamber of Russia, the International Advisory Committee of Reserve Officers, the Megapir National Association of Unions of the Armed Forces Reserve Officers, and the Government of Moscow, in cooperation with a range of government bodies and public organizations. The Congress and exhibition are in fact a new format, a more open, perspective and effective one. It is intended for a single venue cooperation between suppliers and consumers of commodities, both in the military and various fields of security. According to the Congress organizers, it is aimed at integrating the best achievements of society and the state in the field of security to give an impetus to fresh business ideas, socially important projects on the protection of personality, to strengthen cooperation among producers, federal and regional governmental organizations and departures, as well as to contribute to the development of international business contacts. During 3 days, we are to discuss in detail every aspect linked to the issues of nowadays security, both in our planet and in the Russian Federation, in the interests of every single person. The issues of the forum's agenda have been touched upon during joint events, plenary sessions and sections, exhibitions and private meetings of the organizers, guests and participants of the Congress. We'll see, others will see, exchange opinions, and there might be a positive result achieved, a positive shift in the field. The participants have unanimously agreed upon the main statement that security is an essential category both globally and individually. Security is a personal and other people's safety, compliance with all security regulations, life protection, caution, compliance with regulations. Personally, for me, security is peace in our country. Security is the most essential thing in our life. Security comes when my family lives in comfort. According to the definition made by the Bavarian Constitutional Court in 1953, security is an integrity of health, honor, freedom, property of citizens, as well as inviolability of the state institutions' legal order. Security and stability in society largely depend on the solution of a wide range of issues where law enforcement agencies play an important role. That is why the Ministries of Defense and Internal Affairs of Russia, Emercom of Russia, Federal Security Service, Federal Drug Control Service, Ministry of Justice, Voluntary Association for Assistance to Army, Air Force and Navy of Russia, DOSAAF, Federal Service for Defense Order, Federal Space Agency and Military Industrial Commission under the government of the Russian Federation were fully engaged in the forum. The event is obviously important and needs, as I think, no extra argumentation. Why? The issues of personal and social security are seen as cornerstone problems to be solved by society. Discussions and working out of certain solutions for the issues are one of the main tasks for any organization.
Одна из важнейших задач любой структуры.
Law enforcement agencies' stands and products include various fields of security. The exhibition offers a wide range of weapons of different modifications. New innovative designs of military uniform have also been displayed.
В данном конгрессе мы представили свой всесезонный комплект базового обмундирования, а также
At the Congress, we have presented our all-season set of basic equipment, as well as shoes models which are ready to be added to the inventory of the Russian Federation Defense Ministry. The final shoes design has already been tested and developed. This year we have delivered an all-season set of basic uniform for troops.
Комплект обмундирования войска.
There were quite a few military at the exhibition. Foreign guests of the forum paid special attention to military medics, having displayed two sections and a special purpose military medical hospital at an open area. The deployment time is 24 hours. In other words, it takes us 24 hours to arrive in the region, deploy and get ready for operation. The hospitals shown us have been operational in many crisis situations. Military pedagogues presented a mobile satellite and surface broadcasting set and everything related to training and education of the military. Here we can see mobile pieces of equipment designed for movies presentation in the field. Besides, our exposition offers you a series of books and movies approved by the Public Council under the Defense Ministry. Yet another display of the Defense Ministry is devoted to the spiritual security and education of the military. It is we who ought to protect a soldier's soul. Naturally, I am referring to the key product of a theater, namely performances. We should start with plays about history of our state. That is why the theater is in charge of spiritual protection. To my mind, security comes when, following a theatrical performance, a young military guy starts his military service in a different way. According to the Security and Protection of Personality, Society and State International Business Congress organizers, it includes the following topics: military security, personal security, financial and economic security, legal security, international security, food security, environmental security, military labor conditions security, IT security, spiritual and moral security, real estate security, energetic security, Russia's regional security. 22 countries took part in the work of the Congress. Among the guests and participants were military attachés and representatives from 38 states and diplomatic missions accredited in Moscow. Well, representatives from 20 countries have arrived to attend our Congress, including those from Ukraine, Belarus and Serbia. We welcome military attachés and ambassadors who are going to participate today. Within the framework of the International Advisory Committee, the President of the World Veteran Organization and his Vice Presidents of the International Advisory Committee are taking part in the Congress. During the Congress, the distinguished guests did not only voice their proposals and opinions on security issues, but were also seeking for ways of cooperation among one another to secure global peace, combat terrorist and extremist threats. Special interest of the guests was attached by foreign displays.
Непосредственно от Украины здесь есть павильон.
On behalf of Ukraine, the Civilian Defense Scientific Research Institute has displayed a demonstration stand. The institute works on the issues of personal and area security. An exchange of experience we have during the Congress assists in drawing up universal approaches on crisis situation prevention and providing personal and area security. The Congress and the exhibition have lasted 3 days. The expositions have drawn universal interest of the guests. Apart from law enforcement agencies, Russia's agencies of the economic and industrial complexes also participated in the Congress and exhibition. They included the Trade and Industrial Chambers of Russia and Moscow, Association League to Support Defense Industry, the Engineering Workers Guild of Russia, the Corporation Integral Electric Power Complex, and others. There were also representatives from other commercial, public organizations of Russia and the world. Many of them put forward particular initiatives. We have our own Megapir building company, and its high priority is quality. Quality, in its turn, is always about security of any object. Today I can see a lot of breakdowns here and there. It is a must for any object to be safe, as it is our habitat. Nowadays people want guarantees that their lives are out of danger no matter where they are. My proposal is why not using an international standard for polygraph, which is a little security tool. The device can be instrumental for recruiting personnel and might help building a company intended for gaining development and particular economic results. Representatives from nearly all regions of Russia took part in the Congress. The number of expositions reached 92. DOSAAF's display proved to be both meaningful and one of the most popular ones. Here one could try specific training devices, handle genuine weapons, take part in shooting competitions, and even gain skills and knowledge in special service dog breeding. Some of the guests didn't miss a chance to join the public state organization of DOSAAF. I am representing the Forest Protection Service of Lesokhrana here. I am glad to join DOSAAF of Russia. One can find everything here. The exhibition offers you military and patriotic education and training for the Armed Forces Service, sports activities, and a mobile shooting range. In other words, it has everything to train youngsters for the military service. And the Business Congress' main objective is to emphasize a link between business and defense of our country. The exhibition clearly meets the purpose. Security means one must not pass others on the road or make car accidents. We did not expect such a great number of visitors, especially we are pleased to see so many youngsters. The exhibition first day saw over 6,000 visitors. Today we have almost 10,000. Over 3 days the number of guests is expected to reach 30,000 people. Working with the youth, handing on traditions, exchanging work experience, discussing forms and methods of work, everything makes an important and long-sighted contribution to the issue of security of the country and generations to come. We are holding a meeting of veterans of the youth movement, which will be dedicated to the 95th anniversary of the All-Soviet Lenin Communist Union of the Youth. We believe it played a very important role in the development and education of the younger generation and in achievements made in the Soviet Union in general. Besides, during the meeting, we are going to focus on issues of the youth movement revival, including among the military. The business circles of the Congress discussed ways and forms of improvement of security in various fields of life of the country and at the international stage, and touched upon forms of a more productive cooperation among countries. The theoretical part is always necessary, as it gives a chance to take the floor to the largest number of speakers possible. Over 200 people make their statements over 2 days. held by Deputy Minister of Defense Ruslan Salikov, Chairman of Russia's Public Chamber Commission on National Security, and President of the International Advisory Committee of Organizations of Reserve Officers Alexander Kanshin, the conference Security of Russia and the World Through Innovative Economics, High Technologies and Human Resources was a success. The main goal was to hold the event on the basis of the public chamber, as it was the public chamber, along with the Megapir National Association of Unions of the Armed Forces Reserve Officers, that had launched the initiative to organize the business-congress. We think that using the same foundations, we'll try to invite heads of law enforcement agencies, business groups, public and non-commercial organizations, producers, scientists and representatives of Russia and foreign states to touch upon the most urgent problem of the 21st century. I'm referring to means of protection of a citizen or a dweller of our planet from technogenic threats and dangers. Everyone in the Defense Ministry hopes that today's outstanding meeting has, apart from other objectives, an intention to give the army, which is seen as one of the key elements of our society, a decent status in this society. At present, every one of us expresses his attitude to Russia and, above all, I am addressing citizens of our state, depending either on belongingness to the motherland or the idea that this country should be more or less safe place for living. It's very pleasant to realize that the problem of protection and security of personality, society and state has gone beyond the scope of functional responsibilities of law enforcement agencies, and the issue is increasingly becoming topical for civil society itself. One of the sections dwelt on reformation of the military medicine as one of the vital conditions to improve security of military labor and service. The Defense Ministry is not charged with medical and social rehabilitation, as it is unlikely to be possible. Within the framework of the concept to be signed by the Defense Minister in the near future, each region will have health resorts for veterans and combatants with minimal extra charges. The international cooperation among law enforcement agencies to combat terrorism has become one of the focal points of discussions. Fighting against international terrorism is extremely topical for the world civilization. Apart from Russia, a number of states are doing everything possible to eradicate, wipe out, or at least minimize losses of lives caused by the plague. In fact, terrorists are recruited from the youth since early age. The problem is linked to the lack of employment for the youth. Youngsters at the age of 14 to 20 stay unemployed, and percentage is immense. And if youngsters have neither job today nor prospects for the future, they, as you clearly see, become perfect candidates for subversive, so as to say, agitation for terrorist organizations.
Материал для вот такой вот подрывной, так сказать, агитации, для того, чтобы для террористических организаций.
Close here with what I wanted to say, that we're all in here. We have our political challenges at times, but in the conflict against international, domestic and international terrorism, and it's very difficult to separate them out, that we are truly, indeed, friends and allies.
They are a risk group to participate in terrorist groups or other extremist activities. I encourage all nations to take good care of the veterans. give them their rights, their pension, and not to forget all their honor, and bring them into the society to create peace and stability. This will reduce the recruiting of soldiers to evil activities. Again, let's make veteran a force of peacemakers. Because, dear friends, none can speak more eloquently for peace than those who have fought in war.
Сегодня тема все-таки касалась терроризма, экстремизма. Почему? Потому что
Today's discussions were still focused on terrorism and extremism. Why? Because people on our planet wish to live in peace. It doesn't take Russia or Kazakhstan only. The whole world must resolve the problem. I am Vice President of the Reserve Officers Organization, which is striving for peace. We must do everything we can to prevent the youth from choosing a wrong way. Youngsters ought to be patriots of their people.
как бы ни было, не уходила в сторону, она была патриотизм своего народа.
A larger stage opened for specialized sections, conferences and plenary sessions under the current theme of the forum. At the working sections and plenary sessions, the participants of the Congress exchanged working experience, touched upon security issues in such important domains as legal, environmental, informational, energetic, spiritual and moral, and property security. An exchange of opinions is always instrumental, and if there is a permanent basis which attracts various layers and representatives of different strata of society, it will make it possible to exchange experience both theoretically and practically. Such kind of cooperation is definitely useful. To protect business rights and its development, first and foremost, it is necessary to enhance the whole Russian legislation. Public and state organizations, business rights and human rights protection bodies must unite their efforts. Since we are officers, we must always be on the front line to provide for security of personality, children and our motherland. According to the forum organizers and participants, the event and the occasional exhibition have given a potent impetus to establish cooperation among state agencies, public organizations and business to provide for the national security of Russia and its citizens.
Бизнес-конгресс, безопасность личности, общества и государства.
I think security of personality, society and state business congress is very topical, and it is the first such a large-scale event to be held in Moscow and Russia. It is intended to solve the essential problem of security at the international level. I believe it is important that, on the one hand, we are seeking for reserves to enhance security, and, on the other hand, former adversaries are jointly trying to solve problems and become allies. They say it is soldiers and officers who wish war least of all. That is why it is more reasonable to resolve the problems at the round table of allies, rather than to try doing the same looking at your counterparts through a weapon sight. Omitting administrative barriers, security means and equipment producers had an opportunity to meet directly and improve cooperation with officials of law enforcement agencies and other relevant organizations. 126 mutually advantageous agreements have been concluded during 3 days of work of the Congress. But even greater number of agreements has been reached concerning intentions of state agencies, businessmen and producers to sign prospective contracts for cooperation. We hope that eventually cooperation among law enforcement, state and public agencies will bring tangible results. Security and protection are not about giving a policeman for each and everyone to safeguard his life. The idea is security includes a summation of all public relations. Security is one of the key elements, thanks to which we can hope for sustainable economic development of our state in the near 40-50 years. We are pleased to welcome the participants of the closing ceremony of the International Business Congress Security of Personality, Society and State, and the 20th anniversary of the Megapir National Association of Unions of Reserve Officers. Summarizing the results of the International Business Congress Security of Personality, Society and State, public and state organizations having taken part in the Congress and exhibition work were awarded medals and diplomas of participants. The forum's final day official closing ceremony saw a festive concert performed by popular artists. In a ceremonial atmosphere, on behalf of the organizational committee of the International Business Congress, special medals and diplomas were handed to officials of state agencies, state and public organizations which directly participated in the organization and the carrying out of the socially important event. Heads of ministries and agencies, state and public organizations, officials of the world community and ordinary citizens expressed their gratitude to the organizers of the socially important International Business Congress for a high level of organization. On behalf of the International Advisory Committee of Organizations of Reserve Officers, for a special contribution to support veteran organizations, rendering assistance to the armed forces, veterans, children and military families, the IAC's Knighthood Order highest award was handed to Soviet Union Marshal Dmitry Timofeyevich Yazov, Secretary of the Russian Federation Public Chamber Evgeny Pavlovich Velikhov, and President of the World Veteran Federation Hamid Ibrahim.
First of all, I'm very happy to be here, to be invited by Megapir. With a lot of people who are my friends. I would like to thank the authorities in Russia, especially the government and of course the people of Russia for the honor they have given me.
As part of the Congress program, the guests and participants of the ceremonial event celebrated the 20th anniversary of one of the organizers of the forum, namely the Megapir National Association of Unions of Reserve Officers, which is worthily respected both in Russia and abroad. Over the time we've got some results both in terms of prestige and assistance given to other states, public organizations, the military and patriotic education, rehabilitation of our servicemen and veterans, and in the field of assistance given to veterans and their families, especially to families of those fallen. At the evening friendly ceremonial reception, the guests spoke highly of the Megapir leadership for the organization and the carrying out of the Congress. The association's initiative to hold the forum annually was fully approved of.